Alright, so welcome to the software that Steelseries has provided with that mouse and any other device really they sell. This has been a really interesting experience for me to go through that software right before I was recording this, simply because it has so many buttons. My other mouse before was a Corsair. I don't even know the model. It's like a very basic mouse and it didn't have that many options. So something starting off with the downsides honestly is it has only 2 DPI or CPI presets, which means if you press that middle mouse button here, it's going to switch between your sensitivity 1 and 2. So if I press this now, it's going to, slow down. I prefer to have one that's slower than the other one for any sniping situation if you're trying to use that with gaming. It has this acceleration deceleration option, which basically means the faster you move your mouse, the faster it's going to be. I honestly don't know who's going to use it. I think the deceleration, which is vice versa, is kind of interesting to have. Like if you slow down in order to have some precision, you just have it slower at the beginning, and then when you move away, the only problem is it's always slow. So I'd rather have it, somewhat normal and have this little slowdown. It has that angle snapping. I don't know who uses that, but it's very common for a lot of mouse settings, and the polling rate till this day I don't know what it's for really. Something else is the side button lock, which is located beneath the mouse. If you switch that switch, it's gonna block these side buttons, so you can't if it's something you don't want to press accidentally, you just lock it. Something else that I've stumbled upon in those settings is the tactile cooldown function, which basically set up any key on a keyboard or mouse to trigger a custom cooldown timer at the exact moment your timer finishes. So what you can do is you can just record any key, it's either on your keyboard or mouse, to give you a tactile feedback when your duration ends. Like let's say you're using, I don't know, Pathfinder in Apex Legends, and you set this on his cooldown, which is, I don't know, 600 million milliseconds apparently, and then you let's add some 4 more zeros. No, just kidding. Let's go for 60 for example. And then when you do this, let's say you press Q for your tactical, and then you have the buzz. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but let me see if I can save that. Yeah, it immediately gives me a tactile feedback as soon as I press Q, because it's 60 milliseconds. But let's say it's we're gonna increase this, done, and save. Yeah, 600 milliseconds later, it's giving me a tactile feedback, which is very interesting because you don't really have to look at your cooldown in the Apex Legends. You're just gonna rely on your mouse. You can even sharp click, strong click if you don't want a soft bump, or if you want something else, you can just set that up here, because buzz is like the most aggressive one, I feel like. So mostly like sharp click or strong click is something I'd rather go for. And then you set that up on whatever time you want it. Something else that is worth pointing out is the sheer amount of macros and shortcuts that you can set up for each button on the mouse. For example, button 9, which is this bigger button on the side of the mouse, which I would preferably use for page back, is deactivated. So if I would want to put anything else on there, there's so many things that you can put on here, like launch application, those normal things, and then there's OS shortcuts, for example, which are known as Windows shortcuts or Mac OS even, and common shortcuts like copy, cut, paste, even show desktop, capture window to clipboard. all those things that you can put on the mouse, plus you can do the tactile settings here as well, and play on the press down key or up key, and how many times it should even play. That is very interesting, because you don't, for a lot of games, for idling or whatever, you would have to have an auto clicker, but with this you can just set your top mouse button as a mouse button that repeats, or any other button as the first mouse button to repeat, which is a very interesting opportunity to have. And then there's the macro editor as well, where you can set up macros either for your mouse or keyboard, where you can start to record something. For example, this is one of the macros that I've recorded, where I call up the command line and put down the shutdown minus T, minus S, minus T or something, to set up a timed shutdown of Windows, so I don't have to type it myself. So you can bind those as well to the different mouse buttons that are even deactivated still. So there are many mouse buttons that have no function whatsoever, and you would have to assign them to those mouse buttons. And that's about it. You can also change the RGB colors here, obviously. Have different color modes, multicolor, breathe, trigger, whatever. And you can also turn the light off. So overall, pretty nice mouse. I haven't used it in game yet or anywhere else, but it's been a pretty nice mouse yet until now. It feels great on my hand, and I prefer a claw grip, so I was looking for a smaller mouse. And thumbs up to SteelSeries.